Dear participants, welcome to my presentation. I will be presenting the topic that is also the part of the workshop. My task here today is to show you everything that you can expect on a workshop that will take place in Bratislava, Slovakia. So let me share my slides with you. And my workshop, also my presentation, is called Data-Driven Decision Making in Business and Economics. My name is Lukáš Vartiak, and as I already said, I'm from Slovakia, from Comenius University, Bratislava. My presentation will take about 20 minutes. I will introduce you to the topic and objectives. I will present key concepts and framework. I will present how to work with data, then analytical approaches, application in practice, and also at the end we will conclude and I will provide some recommendations. So the first and the most important is to present and to also describe what is the data-driven decision-making process in business and economics. My presentation is all practical. It means that it provides you with something like hands-on training designed to strengthen your abilities, your capabilities to use data, to present data and to express data as a strategic asset. All of the raw information that will be presented here will be transferred or translated into actionable insight. So it means that everything that you will hear today, you can take and also use anywhere and anytime you want. Also, frame decisions are something very crucial, and these are the questions that data can answer. So if you have some questions for your business and you don't know how to answer them, how to move forward, you use data and data can help you. To evaluate data, to analyze data, you need to apply analytical techniques and also something that is called a market analysis, financial forecasting, operational optimization, and also at the end, policy evaluation. Measurable impact is something that we need to discuss today because you know that in business we follow the SMART principle, and measurable is one of the letters, it's M, and everything has to be measurable because when you do not measure something, you don't know or you cannot tell if the effect is as you wished. Emphasis also is placed on accessible, repeatable approaches because when you once find out that something is good for your company and for your business, you can use it anytime you want. Of course, it can be adjusted to special conditions that you are in. What is the background of this presentation or this topic? Is that rapidly evolving economic and business landscape is today and nowadays based on data. So information is the biggest asset that any company can have. Organizations also rely on analytics, on trends, because sometimes we don't know how to make a decision. So we ask some software, some prediction models, and we get competitive advantage thanks to it. Volume and complexity of available data is growing from day to day, and it means that we need more professionals, we need more techniques, we need more softwares and tools to analyze the data and try to understand it. Our aim is not only to do analysis, but also to connect analysis and decision-making process. So it means that everything should be practical, pragmatic, and used in real life situations. Digital transformation provides us with some uncertainty. So it means that sometimes we just don't know. And if we don't know and we feel uncertain, it means that we need help. We need help with our decisions in the future, and that is why managers, analysts, economists, product leaders, and any other professionals, such as policy professionals, do something that is called data analysis. Analytics means that we focus on something that is accessible, some techniques, something that is clear to discuss the problem, to frame the problem, to provide you with methods that you can use in the future, and so on and so on. So the emphasis input on decisions under constraints. So we have limited data quality, we have timeline that is tight. We also have imperfect information, so it means that there always is someone who's got better information than you. So it means all of the conditions tell us that the situation is not ideal, but we have to focus on us. So rational is simple. Better questions, better data, better reasoning lead us to better decisions. When we are called data-driven, it's not only about collecting data, but also about creating or using the most complex data. It means that our decisions are structured according to evidence and metrics, and we play a central role in the data analysis as the owners and users of data. Data-driven approach also starts with decision to be made and hypothesis about the world and about our company and about everything and how does it work. Then it identifies what information would confirm or refute that hypothesis. When you have information, you have the power. When you are a powerful company, you can be better than other companies, than your competitors. Good practice balance rigor with speed. Also, we have to have relevant documents, and then there is a trade-off. So data informs but does not replace judgment. We have data, we have some software that can tell us what to do or what should we do, but we have our own judgment and we have our knowledge, experiences, and so on. Data-driven teams cultivate habits. So it means that when we write down some assumption, we find out some solutions, it means that it is reusable in the future. Strong analysis begin with practice questions. So for example, should we expand product A to segment X in Q1 given a CAC ceiling of 120 pounds? Okay, this is the question, and we use data to answer the questions. We have to map stakeholders, constraint, success criteria or critical success criteria before even touching our data. And when we touch the data, we have to be 100% sure which data we want to use. We have to specify baseline performance, so what we want to achieve. We also pre-declare primary metrics and what is acceptable for us. Then document some assumptions, so for example, about elasticity of demand or supply, capacity or market size, production offers or options, and so on. So it is just simple decision brief that aligns themes and limits analysis role. Internal sources and external sources are sources that we can use to data landscape. So internal are, for example, sales, CRM, ERP, our web app statistics, and so on and so on. Then external sources can be obtained from market research, from statistics, from industry indices, and so on and so on. For each source, it doesn't matter if it's external or internal. There is someone who owns the data, there is someone who provides limitations, and there is someone who will survive the bias. Poor data quality is the most common root cause of weak decisions. So if your data is not as high quality as it should be, it means that your decision made on such data is also not great. I would say it would be poor when the data quality is poor. So it means that we need to focus on accuracy, completeness, consistency, timeless, and timelines, and also validity of our data. When we establish our minimal acceptance threshold, so it means what are our minimum standards, we can do as much as possible with the data. So data owners, stewards, producers, and consumers have the very important roles in governance clarification. When we have metrics such as key performance indicators, these are really, really crucial because they have to be specific, they have to be attributable to actions, and also they have to be sensitive enough to detect any change. When we use some metrics, we have to deliver our financial results, also management results, and also growth results. And when we set the targets, it means that everything that we need has to be reviewed. And at the end, we have to accept something that is called variability. So it means that we do not get the clear answer what to do. Sometimes we get options. If you do this, the result will be that, and so on. Then visualization. Visualization is really, really necessary because when we want to make any decision, visuals should accelerate our understanding. So we will just present everything in colors, let's say, and the form that we choose must be the form that is the most suitable for us, for our employees, for our company, and so on. So lines for change over time, for example, or bars for comparison, or pie chart, or anything that can tell us about the topic. All the data that we use and visualize have to be labeled clearly, so we understand the units, we understand the colors, we understand the tasks, and so on. And the context must be clear for everyone who will be presented the data. For example, there is actual revenue versus target revenues with simple forecast. It is clear, it is decision focused and easy to interpret. So when you look at the lines that we have actual revenue, target, forecast, and forecast interval, everything in one picture. So this is the best example of visualization. Everybody understands what is in the graph. Everybody understands what is happening in the company, and it means that we can use this visualization for just to people to understand it better. Another option is so-called A/B testing or any other experimentation that you can come up with. So controlled experiments or clear metrics such as A/B testing or any other testing. Then units that can be appropriate and pre-registered. And also during everything that we do, we have to monitor the situation. And if the situation is monitored, it means that everyone knows what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and what it will brings us or what it will take from us. We have to pre-register the analysis plan to reduce p-hacking and track exposure and compliance, because when there is intent to treat and per protocol analysis, all of them or both of them can answer different questions. So when we put them together, and we have to know how to put them together, we can get the best possible result. For example, another visualization. So we did A/B test results or A/B testing, and these are the results with, for example, 95% confidence intervals. So as you can see, we have control, we have variant A. So control variant is something like a model that we check the variant A with. And when we communicate clearly and our experimental outcomes are clear and visualized, for example, for our decision makers, we can make the best possible decision. Then another option is to do predictive modeling basics or predictive modeling, and we are here to present the basics. So predictive models translate patterns into historical data, and also not only historical data, so what was, but also what it will be, so the future data or forecast. We can come up with new cases. So what if? Then we have to begin with something simple and something that is easy to interpret. Then split the data into trainings, validations, and tests. And we have to do validation not only data A, data B, but we have to do the cross validation. So data A / data B. Then we select evaluation metrics that are aligned to decision, because every metric that we use must be directly linked with our decisions. Then we have to select evaluation metrics that will help us. And at the end, we have to guard against leakage, because future information must not be mirrored in the past, but past information in the future, it's completely okay. Then prioritize features with clear business meaning and low acquisition cost. It means that when we want to choose the data that we will use, our task is for them to be the cost effective, because as I already said, information is something that is at the highest or the most expensive value of the company. Forecasting is something that we do because forecasting supports us in the future. So forecasting supports us now. So when we forecast something, we know what to do now, and we will hope that it will happen or it will not happen in the future. So we have to start by decomposing time series into level trends, seasonability, and also we have to use some irregular components. Then we evaluate, we choose methods that we can use, for example, MAPE, and we present forecast intervals. Intervals can be divided into quarters, or it can be years or months. It's up to you, and it's up to type of the planning. So if it's a strategic planning or just a short time planning. Another important measure is market analysis, because all we do here is try to use data to make decisions. But why do we make decisions? Because we need to focus on the market that we are at, or market that we want to get on, and so on. So we have to combine descriptive attributes and behavioral signals. We choose statistics, check it, and then we use trends and check them. So when we combine statistics and trends, we will find out that we have some estimate lifetime value and acquisition cost to be segmented, and also to prioritize our investments. For when we have money to invest, it means that we will invest only to the markets that we already did a segmentation on, and we know how to set up the pricing. So that's it. For pricing, we need to check demand elasticity, we need to check the supply, we need to check the saturation of the market, promotions, seasonability, and so on and so on. Another type of forecasting is financial forecasting, because let's be honest, we do this for the money. Nobody wants to set up the business that will not be profitable. So when we check revenues volume multiplied by the price, we will know if we are doing okay or not. Model costs by behavior, or convert forecasts to cash with timing of receivables, payables, and inventory, means that we do something like micro accounting here, and we want to know if we are doing good, and also we want to predict if we will be doing good. Stress tests are also very important, because They will tell us what to do in bad situations or how we will look like in situations that are not desirable for us. Lastly, we are getting to the end of this presentation because we have something that is called policy evaluation in economic context. Policy means some practices, some tasks, some steps, how to do it, what to do it, when to do it, and so on. Policy questions require credible estimates of impact on social and economic outcomes. It also means that we have to validate our assumptions because some of them can be tested, some of them cannot. These that can be tested are better for us because when we have some assumption and in the future we can test if the assumption was or was not true, that's great for us because we can do this in the future and use this assumption as something that was tested and we know that it will happen or it will not happen again. But as I always say during my presentations, it doesn't matter if it's workshop or conference or my lectures at university, communication is the key. So clear communication of uncertainty and assumptions is essential for legitimacy, and everyone in the team, everyone that is included in data-driven decision making must be the person that communicates clearly and also is communicated clearly with. So that's it. Communication is the key. So what are the basics of the data-driven decision making? When you have data, use data as best as possible. That's it. And communicate about it. Because when we get into risky situation or situation in which we are not certain what will happen, sometimes not making any decision is also a type of decision because we do not want to harm our company, we do not want to harm our employees and so on. So first we have to do something like a decision tree and check the options. If we do this, what happens? If that happens, what will it bring and take away from our company? But if something else happens, what's then? That's it. Explicit price risk reduction actions also can help us because when we reduce the prices, we can motivate our customers to buy more and also we can get money. That's it. But it's not only about the money, it's also about being flexible. It's also about being able to overcome some situations that are not great for us. And everything must be documented. Why? Because in the future we can check the past. As I already said, the future cannot be mirrored into past, but the past can and usually is mirrored in the future. Lastly, ethics, privacy, and responsible use. It means that we have to be responsible for every decision that we make. Every decision also must be based on ethics and it must be private because data and information, as you know, is expensive. And when we use data, when we use information that we paid for, it must not be misused. It must not be abused by someone else. So that is why privacy is the key. But we have to be also transparent about our decisions. Usually people and our human resources has to know and they just want to know why we make such decisions. So that is why we have to communicate clearly. So I'm back to communication. Communicating insights and driving actions also means that communicating is not only the key for people get to know things, but also is something that provides us with next steps. So we communicated what we did, what we do, what we want to do in the future, and during analysis also communication must be cleared. clear, but not only communication within the company, but also within the industry, for example. Communication also means that we have to be clear about benchmarking, about checking with other companies, because when there is something that other companies do better than us, that's it. We have to be sure and we have to be honest about this. We are not the best in the industry either way. We wouldn't do this. We wouldn't do any data-driven analysis and so on and so on. So we just want to be the best, but clearly it's not easy to say who's the best, because you can be best in one or from one side, and anybody else can be the best from the other side. So that's it. That's how the business works. At the end, just checklist. So check what we did, check where did we get, and something that is needed is also checking the hypothesis, confirm data quality and quantity, confirm uncertainty, and document everything that we found out and that we want to get to. That's it. All of the next steps must be presented clearly and communicated again clearly. So what we will do in the future? If we do all of this, it can be said that, or we can say that our data-driven decision making was successful, and we just mastered the data-driven analysis process, data analysis process, and data-driven decision making. So this is just the checklist for you to understand what I'm talking about. So let's say we do frame decision and hypothesis. We check the data quality and definitions. We pre-declare metrics and baseline. We quantify uncertainty, test robustness, link insights to actions, and at the end, monitor and update. Why do we need to update? Because the market changes, the world changes fast, and what we did today cannot be used in the future, for example. So we just maintain it a bit, adjust it a bit, and that's it. We use updated version. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I hope you found out more about data-driven decision making. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. If you have any other requests for example, cooperation in the future, don't hesitate to ask me, and I will be glad to see you again. Have a nice workshops, have a nice conference, and we're looking forward to next conference. So it was a pleasure to present you with the information that I prepared, and thank you for your attention. Goodbye.